My name is Edmund and I am the product manager for Digitain Sportsbook. Today we are going to talk about the sportsbook portfolio of Digitain. This is a very general but at the same time very interesting question. When we talk about sportsbook, I think there are three things that we need to keep in mind when we talk about sportsbook portfolio. So number one is the content. So what kind of content does the sportsbook offer to its customers? And the content in our case, it covers more than 65 different sports. It covers thousands of different markets, and all of these markets they become available for our players through the proprietary calculators, the algorithms that we built in-house. And the events that are traded by our in-house trading team of more than 700 people. So that's the content in a sense. Then when we talk about sportsbook, it's the stability and the security and the reliability of the product. And when we talk about the reliability and the stability, we also talk about the speed of sportsbook, the speed the speed and the technologies that we use in the product to make sure that we bring to the customer the next update as soon as possible. We show the customer all the changes in less than a second, and we give the customer the ability to interact with the system seamlessly. So the second most important part of Sportsbook portfolio, that basically includes all the features that we have in Sportsbook. And when it comes to features, I think it's important to mention that while Sportsbook is a standalone product, but it does have features that are not really sportsbook related features. Those would, across the industry, you would typically find this kind of features more applicable to platforms. But Sportsbook has those features, and it gives really a competitive edge for Digitain Sportsbook because it is provided to our operators through an API integration, not only as a turnkey solution. So that means that all of these features become available to other operators who are just taking Sportsbook from Digitain and integrating that into their own platforms, which in a sense means that they don't really have to develop all of these functionalities because Sportsbook already has these functionalities built into the product. And some of these functionalities include, for example, the bonus system, or it includes the tax engine, or many other such functionalities that you would also see some or many other platforms to have. And I think the third most important component for the Sportsbook portfolio is basically the channels that we offer our Sportsbook through. And the channels are, again, they are standard across the industry. So we have all of those channels. So we offer Sportsbook through desktop, through mobile. We also offer it through native applications for Android and iOS. There is a complete portfolio or solution for the retail. So basically, we can cater Sportsbook to the land-based operations of any operator. And so there is also the POS terminal solution, which is we consider that as part of the retail operations. And then there is the USSD and SMS betting opportunity, again targeted at specific markets. So as I already said, Sportsbook can be integrated in different platforms. If it is offered as an integration into Digitain platform, that's what we call a full turnkey solution, which includes our Sportsbook as a product. But Sportsbook is also very popular as a standalone product to be integrated into different platforms. These integrations, so we have the standard integration, which is the standard API integration, which takes the full control and the full control of our iframe solution. But then there is also the possibility for the operators, as I said earlier, to integrate Sportsbook to make use of our feed and the betting engine, but to take a full control of the front end and deliver their own custom front end the way they want it. So this is the two basic types of integrations that we offer for our customers. And of course, when we talk about the channels, we also support the USSD SMS betting channel. So that's also an alternative integration option for our potential operators to integrate the USSD channel and offer their customers betting opportunity for USSD and SMS betting. So the channels that Digitain Sportsbook supports is, I think that's pretty much standard across the industry. So we offer the desktop version of Sportsbook. There is the mobile version, the web mobile, and also the native applications for Android and iOS. Sportsbook comes in with a complete retail solution for operators. So that's the retail solution for bet shops. And we can consider part of that also the POS terminals as a separate channel of delivery for Sportsbook. And as I said earlier, both as an integration channel, but also as a delivery channel. That's the USSD and SMS betting channel. So this set of different channels actually covers a broad spectrum of delivery for our operators, and whether the operations is it's land-based or internet-based online, we can cater to these different target groups of operators. Digitain Sportsbook is, I should say, it's really flexible in terms of localizing it for different markets, and the localization comes both in terms of the layout of the sportsbook, but also in terms of the features and functionalities that we have. Some of the features and functionalities are designed for specific markets, whereas they are designed for specific markets, but they can be used in other markets as well. In terms of the localization, one thing I would like to highlight is that we have different layouts for different markets, and these layouts are already considered standard within our portfolio. So if it's an operator from an Asian market or an operator from an African market, we have designated a specific view or layout for these markets. There's also the standard solution, which we can offer for to different operators across Europe or Latin America as well. And so in terms of the views, it's pretty much very, very flexible. We can customize also the availability of different features, and we can deactivate from a back office tool. You can, for specific features, you can play around with those, and you can just show something on the left-hand side or on the right-hand side. So there are these options for the customizations and flexibility. In terms of custom solutions, again, it really depends on the needs of the customer. But if there is a need for a custom solution, we can provide a custom solution. But at some point in time, these custom solutions will definitely become the next general solution for Sportsbook portfolio, because when we develop something new, we develop keeping in mind the Sportsbook strategy, which is as much as we want to have this flexibility and customization for our operators, we also want the product to keep its identity and to have features and functionalities that are, at some point they become standard, or at some point they become just general solutions which are available to a wider group of operators. Doesn't matter which market they operate in. Of course, this can come in different variations depending on the market specifications, but they will be available for other operators as well. So when talking about key features of a sportsbook, any sportsbook in general, I think, as I already mentioned, one of the most important things is that sportsbook can support multiple currencies, and it can support multiple languages. That's number one. Sportsbook can support different channels, and it can be integrated through various integration methods, something that I already covered. But if we talk about those customer-facing features and functionalities, which in each of the cases bring certain value to the customer, then there are a couple of things I'd like to highlight. So number one, it's the edit bet functionality, which we have available for the customers, and of course based on the configuration, but generally it can allow the customers to edit the bets that they've already placed, and these bets can be edited, and customers or players, they can add certain selections to their bets, or they can replace the ones that have already been added. So that's number one functionality. Number two, we can mention the cash out, which also gives flexibility and a certain extent of control to our players, so they can cash out the bets which have this functionality, and they can cash out fully or they can cash out partially. And this is, again, all of these features which we talk about is available to operators, and the operators can customize it based on their needs, or they can provide custom parameters both for edit bet or for cash out, or for any other feature that we have in Sportsbook. One of the features that I'd like to mention as well is the taxation feature, or the tax engine we call it. So basically that's also a feature that is available. This is more of an operator side of a feature, because this gives a flexibility to the operator to use the tax engine based on the requirements of of the local requirements or the requirements of the government or their regulator. So basically, this is an opportunity to show all the required information in terms of the taxation when it comes to the taxation on the bet amount or the taxation on the win amount. So this is a functionality that basically is integrated into Sportsbook. It's built on the Sportsbook platform and it's available in Sportsbook directly. Some of the other features that are also available to the customers, it's the way we present the content to the customer itself is a combination of different features. So basically customers accessing Sportsbook from different locations, they can see events in different priorities. So this is a backend feature that we use, and we give access to our operators so they can make the corresponding configuration. So you can have a configuration based on the location. So depending on which location you access the system will show you different events in different order. And there are also different widgets available in Sportsbook layout that can be used to sort of draw attention of players to live events or to most popular championships or to, let's say, last-minute bets, etc. In terms of the features, I would also like to highlight that Sportsbook, it's a standalone product, but it's also self-sufficient in a sense that it also comes with its own marketing tools, and it also has the ability to there are multiple slots on Facebook layout where you can use which you can use to promote different events or promote different products as well. So those are the banner sections, and all of these banner sections are dynamically managed from the content management system. So to summarize, I think so when we talk about the content, the banners, the language control, and the different variations of the translations, both the dynamically generated content and the content that is up there for navigation. So all of this is dynamically controlled from within Sportsbook, and that's the content management system that we have. And basically, once operators get our Sportsbook, they also get access to this content management system. So the next set of features of Digitain Sportsbook include the incentives and promotional functionalities of the product. And as I said earlier, the Sportsbook that we offer, it's self-sufficient in a sense that you have within Sportsbook, you have functionalities that you would typically find, functionalities that are specific to platforms but not standalone Sportsbooks. So in our case, we offer different sport bonuses. Those are the industry standard free bets or wagering bonuses. And we also have a number of different incentives that can be used from within Sportsbook, and those incentives include multi-bet bonuses, cashbacks, and different types of promos that can be configured from our tools. And again, all of these incentives or promotional features that I'm talking about, those are all available for our operators, and the operators can customize those from their end, and they can basically input different parameters or different configurations to better meet the needs of their customers. And one more feature I'd like to mention is, so we talked about the different customer-facing features, the cash out, the added bet, we talked about the bonuses, and one more feature that is again from the list of those incentives, that's the Sportsbook or the sports tournament. And again, this is available to all of the operators, no matter Sportsbook is integrated or Sportsbook is taken as a turnkey solution or as an integration through our standard API. So basically, the Sportsbook tournament, it's both a player engagement and also a retention feature, and it helps operators to sort of engage their customers by providing them opportunity to make free bets, or like using the points that are provided to the players. They can use these points and place bets every day. So this can be configured as a daily tournament and a monthly tournament. And basically, these daily and monthly tournaments will have daily or monthly fund prizes, and these fund prizes can be divided between the winners. So this is sort of a free opportunity or point-based opportunity for the players to just experiment and place bets on Sportsbook at the same time with a real opportunity to win part of the prize fund. So as I mentioned in the beginning, when we talk about sportsbook portfolio, we talk about the content, and when we talk about the content, definitely it's the prices that we offer. So as I said, we have tens of different sports, we have thousands of different events and markets that we're offering. Now all of these markets that we're offering, they're traded, especially if we're talking about live events, they're traded in-house by our in-house trading team, and the team is as large as 700 people working for the trading department. So these live events are traded in-house by our traders, and of course the prices are generated through our own algorithms that we have designed and implemented for different types of sports. So we have different types of trading tools that are used by our traders in-house, and some of these tools are also available for the operators through our sportsbook back office tool. So basically our operators can also make use of the monitoring tool that we have, and they can monitor all of the incoming bets, and they can see depth of information in all of those bets that we have incoming. So that's a tool that is available for the operators as well. On the risk management side of things, we have a robust limit management system in place, which is again, it's configurable for each of the websites or for each of the partners and the brands that we support. Basically, the configurations can be made on the operator side as well. And there is the group management of different customers, merging them into or putting them into different groups for risk management purposes. A number of other, in-house or internally built tools that are used by our risk managers and by our traders to successfully carry out all the trading activities for Digitain Sportsbook.
Hello, my name is David and I am product owner of mobile applications and web mobile of Sportsbook. I will tell you about mobile applications feature and how it is provided to our customers. Nowadays, most of users are operating with mobile devices. That's why Digitain took a mobile-first approach in its development. So let's start from the web mobile version. For customers, we offer two types of integration of web mobile. Those are iframe integration and native integration. In case of native integration, customers will have an option to customize their view and UI through their CSS. And in case of iframe integration, all the part of UI is handled by the Digitain. So in case of mobile solutions, we have two types of view according to the regions that customer can operate. We offer standard European view and Asian view of mobile version. The other channel we offer is native applications, both iOS and Android applications. When we say native application, we understand smooth performance, access to the operating system and software, and native UI UX design and navigation. When offering native applications, with an application we provide customers with access to the data analytics and to cloud messaging. With cloud messaging, customers can send push notifications, general push notifications to their users and tracking it with the analytics they have. They receive it by default. Let's talk about features that are specific for mobile users regarding the applications. So we have an option of smart login, which is user can have Face ID, Touch ID login, and the other option is having a quick bet option. We provide the possibility to make an instant bet with only one tap and without a risk of being mistaken. Another good feature that is specific for mobile is connection with other applications that user have in his device. Thus, it provides a possibility to share bets with social media applications directly, and having connected the application to his native calendar and receiving reminders about match starts and some events connected to the real-time match. Users are provided with an ability to have picture-in-picture mode, which allows to use the application and watch the live streaming simultaneously. And in iOS version, user can have two live streaming at the same moment. And in case of Android, the user can see the streaming of the match even outside the application using picture-in-picture mode. When speaking about better user experience, we offer an onboarding tutorials, animations that the user will see when entering application first time. Will find out all hidden features, all native features that application provides. And one more thing that is specific for iOS application is that users can customize their mobile tab bar and their menu, so it again emphasizes how user friendly can be the application that is created in native way.
So some of the recent updates to our sportsbook portfolio include the addition of table football and esports. And when we talk about table football, again, I think it's important to highlight that we are the first provider of table football as a solution in the iGaming industry. And it comes not only as a content for sportsbook, but it also comes as odds feed. So whether you integrate Sportsbook as an API solution, you integrate that into your platform, or if you want to get the feed for table football, you can do that through Digitain Sportsbook. And table football also comes with the streaming option to have for your sportsbook. And esports. So when we talk about esports and table football, these are the two new, so to say, sports that are in the live gaming stream of Digitain. When we talk about again table football and esports, this is new for Digitain, and we keep adding different types of sports which are arranged and which are organized by Digitain. So Digitain holds Digitain arranges these events. Digitain provides the feed and provides all the prices for all of the events within table football and esports, and we also provide the streaming. So it's a full package of OddsFit Plus streaming option, but it's also available through our standard sportsbook package. And again, it doesn't matter if it's a turnkey solution or if it's an API integration. Another addition to the sportsbook portfolio is the live tracker. So we have live trackers available, or this live info widgets available within Sportsbook for different types of sports. But just recently we launched the new live tracker for football. And again, it's an upgraded version of the previous one. With the new version, there is the possibility to basically track all the movement of the ball with the coordinates, and there is the possibility to see up to 18 different stats directly from the sportsbook. There are the lineups for certain events, and with in-depth details of the players and other information regarding the football match. It's also built with a newer technology, so it's much faster than the previous one. So the updates in the live tracker take less than a second, and it also has some UX and user experience upgrades in terms of the design. One thing to mention again when we talk about customization and we talk about flexibility, this live tracker as well, so it comes in with different variations in colors, and also there is a possibility to tie these color schemes to the specific brands of the website. And one of the last things I'd like to mention in terms of the innovations or additions to the sportsbook portfolio, as I mentioned earlier, that's the tax engine that we introduced. And the tax engine, if you think about that, it's really not a product feature. It shouldn't be a product feature. But as I said, we want Sportsbook to be self-sufficient. So Sportsbook is sold or is provided to our potential operators or partners as a standalone product. And as a standalone product, Sportsbook is now also capable of operating in an environment where there is taxation, and no matter that tax is put on the bet amount, or the tax is put on the winnings or on the pure win, or even if there is a differentiation between internet gaming or retail solutions. So we can put different types of taxation mechanisms in place for Sportsbook, for retail and for online betting. So when we talk about Sportsbook and we talk about COVID-19, it's interesting because when the pandemic first started in March, of course the plans were different, so our product roadmaps were completely different. But when we understood what's going on with all of these events, and especially this is very important for Sportsbook because we kept receiving all of the notifications that different events were constantly being cancelled. So we had to refocus all of the resources and our attention to different features and functionalities and to different integrations specifically for Sportsbook, because number one sort of goal for the Sportsbook product was to make sure that the content is rich and to make sure that the content is still, it still appeals to the customer. Now, to make that, of course, we needed to come up with, new types of content. So in one case, it was different types of integrations from providers to make the content richer. And in the second scenario, it was the table football, which came in as an innovation because we were, number one, we were the first basically in the industry to offer, to accept bets on table football and to offer that as a new type of sports in iGaming. And then of course, esports. So we also added esports solution to our Sportsbook, and we not just added esports, so it was there, it had been there for a couple of years, but what we did during pandemic, we reintroduced esports as a different, as a standalone solution with its different website, with a standalone website and with its dedicated content. And we started that back in March 2020, and then we kept adding the content for esports. And the content is not only about the games, but it's also about the different types of markets that are available for betting on esports. So when we talk about esports, today it's it's part of Sportsbook portfolio. It has a dedicated website for esports, and not only we're providing, not only we're accepting bets on different esports games that are integrated into our Sportsbook, but we're also providing our own esports. So that, together with table football, was, I think, very, very important and instrumental during the COVID period. But also, I think one thing that we at Digitain learned, when it comes to product development, is that we were experiencing agile, but with the COVID and with the pandemic in general, we understood that it's very important to be flexible, not only in terms of the products, but also it's very important to be flexible in the organization structure and the way we plan our strategy and the way we plan our roadmap. So the ability to shift the course of the development for a product overnight, it gave us the competitive edge to make new additions to Sportsbook and to come up with new innovations just within, I should say, hours and days. So that's why if you look at different numbers throughout the last 5 to 6 months, you can see that although maybe globally sports, of course we didn't have the sports events, and different sportsbook around the globe were suffering. But if you look at the numbers for Digitain, we were able to keep up the numbers, especially for live betting. So as I said, We have the trading team within Digitain, and we kept adding these new electronic sports, and also we kept integrating different simulated events to make part of Sportsbook. Now all of this together, and if I just mention the number for August, so just for August we had more than 75,000 live traded events. So that just gives the the number of events we were able to cover live for Sportsbook just in August. So as I already said, at Digitain, when it comes to product development, we do development based on on the customer needs. We do the development according mostly to the agile principles, which basically means that we want to be flexible in a sense to change the course of to change or to reprioritize the items on our backlogs to be able to address the most pressing needs of our customers. So what's coming next is really, it all depends also on how the situation with the pandemic continues, and we still, we hope for the best, but we still don't know how it's going to continue. But ultimately, there is the roadmap in place for Sportsbook development. There are a number of items that we would like to have developed earlier, but we're going to do it in the future. Just because of the pandemic, we had to relocate some of the resources and refocus what we want to do. So those items are still pending and they're in the backlog. But there are also the trends in the market, the research and the insights that we get from the markets, from the competitors, from our own partners. So there is still a lot to do for Sportsbook, and I think it never stops. It's just an ongoing process. So we see even the features that we developed in-house and even the features that we develop for Sportsbook. So we periodically we look at the performance of those features, and we get the insights from the data, and then we understand whether we need to make changes in the features that already exist, or whether we need to discontinue some of them, or whether we need to just completely change them. So these are decisions that happen, and these decisions are taken every single day. But in general, just to answer the question, there is a roadmap in place, and we expect to have, to keep adding the content for Sportsbook, to pay extra attention to, all the measures that need to be taken for the security and stability of the product, and then of course the expansion in different markets and going deeper in understanding what different markets and target groups need, so we can plan and take action accordingly. Thank you for your attention. For more information, please visit our virtual stand, and you can get information not only on Sportsbook but all Digitain products. Thank you.